Sorry, guys. Be right back in 1 second. I'm just plugging my phone in, so I got my screenshots for the quiz. If you guys want to be quizzed, 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay. Hi, guys. Look at this. All right. Hello, I will. Hello, Eric G. Hello, Russell Cameron Thomas. Hello, Blaze. So many familiar names. Mark, Eric G, and Evie. Evie, I'll be honest. I was thinking about you today, and I was feeling bad as always. Like, why do I always get into a fight with Evie? He's very loyal. He always participates. Why do I have to be so rude to poor old Evie? I'm glad you're back, Evie. And I apologize for being a bit rude to you, Evie. But your participation is welcomed, and it's always great to have you on. Hello, Ryan Doherty. Hello, Matt. Hello, Ramo. Hello, Oruam Alabrak. Hi, love your videos. Greetings from Paraguay. Amazing, Oruam. Hello, Paul Jagger. Eric G says, hello, Vic. I'm going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona to kick it with some homies to attend a John Summit concert and day pool party the next day. I'm looking to get some approaches, dates, lays, and oh God, I feel like I'm a pickup artist right now. Nice, Eric G. Evie says, don't worry, Vic. I love you. You're such a sweetheart. Wow, Evie, very generous and kind of you. Thank you. Eric G says, what can I expect from Scottsdale? I have never been to Scottsdale, Eric G. I don't know. Shawshank says, hi. Drewski, hi. Josue Miranda. Hello. He says, hi there. Went on a date with a woman that had broken up with his 4-year boyfriend a month ago. She became a little distant, makes excuses for not going out, but replies joyful and warm every time. Well, this seems like a case for a woman who's read some dating philosophy like lean back and play hard to get, but every time the guy contacts you, be joyful and warm, because that's like typical female dating advice where they say, oh, you got to be honey, which is basically a term for fake femininity. Be extremely sweet and feminine whenever the guy reaches out to kind of give him that like behavioral reinforcement, but be distant so that he pursues you. So who knows if it's a situation, but it does, if the shoe fits, right, Josue? Does that make sense? That's typical female dating strategy. Like I always tell you guys, they want a guy who's going to pursue. They want an alpha. They want a leader. They don't want a passive guy that they have to give the green lights to and the compliments to and grab his dick and jump on his dick and tell him, let me suck your dick. Like everything like the guy wants, they don't want it. That's the opposite of what they want. So they're going to play hard to get. They're going to be distant, but they're going to positively reinforce every time you contact them to try to bait you along so that you contact them more. You get little biscuit every time you pursue. You get it? So, hello, Zachariah. Eric Jesus, relax. I'm not going to do PUA. I'm not going to do anything that doesn't resonate with me personally. Well, the reason I said that is because you said the term lay. I'll tell you, that's not a very female gaze term. I'm going to get my lay count up. All right. So that's the word that's sent me off into PUA land. Hey, we got a super chat. Wonderful. Historial. Thank you so much. He says, we started dating 6 months ago. She was very interested in me at first. Now she is pulling away. She thinks I'm a player who will hurt her. How is the best way to get her back? So she was interested in you. Now she's pulling away because she thinks you're a player. Well, the best way to get her back, if you really want her, is to prove you're not a player by being persistent, planning dates, being reassuring, and basically winning her trust. Okay? Because in a girl's mind, it's kind of like, well, if he really loves me, then he will fight for me and he will pursue me. But if he's really a player, then me pulling back will just make him go off and get with his other hoes, you know? So, does that make sense? You're going to have to play the long game and you're going to have to be persistent and pursue her and prove to her that, you're not a player, basically. So, thank you so much again for your super chat, and let me know if that makes sense. Since Steve Estrada says, hey, Victoria, do you think you can make a video that are 10 books men should read to help them understand the female gaze and be better partners? Steve, I don't know that there are 10 books written on the female gaze the way I talk about it. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely probably 10 books on like relationship skills or dating or something, but they're definitely not going to frame it as the female gaze. You know what I mean? And then the books that are written from the female gaze, which are kind of like novels and romance novels written for women, love stories and stuff like that, you have to do a lot of your own reading between the lines to really like get the message. It's not spelled out for you. So unfortunately, although I could do like 10 books men should read to help them like be better at dating, for the female gaze specifically, I don't even know if it's possible, to be quite honest. Hello, Beardo. He's in the background. So, Historial super chats me again. Thank you so much. And he says, how do I do that without turning her off and seeming low value? Well, that's what you guys have to understand, okay? Not every time you pursue a girl does it seem low value. For example, if this girl actually thinks you're a player, then she already thinks you're high value. She already thinks you have options. A player is high value in a girl's mind. Okay? So you don't have to worry about like turning her. I mean, yes, it's possible she won't immediately accept your advances, but you basically don't have to worry about seeming like, well, I mean, you can overdo it. So, I mean, let me read it one more time to make sure I get what you're saying. So, how do I do that, pursue her, without turning her off and seeming low value? Okay, yeah. So, there are ways you could turn her off. I would invite her on dates, okay? Like plan a date and invite her. I would apologize for whatever she's mad about, like whatever you did to make her feel you're a player. I would kind of address that directly and kind of apologize for it, see it from her perspective. I would send her different like articles like every week or so, or like a meme or something that you think she would be interested in, that she would like. I would kind of like ask how she is, but you just want to do it kind of like at a measured pace like, every 3 days or so, every week or so. You don't want to overwhelm her and overload her. You don't want to seem desperate and like panicked. You just kind of want to seem like this is a girl who I'm not going to give up on. I want her in my life. And if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, I'm okay with that. Okay, that is a way to, you kind of like make different offers to her, offers of dates, offers of things she'd seem interested in, offers of like to talk about like how she's feeling and how her day is. And you do it in a calm, collected, and not triggered way. And eventually you kind of make yourself like very valuable to her. And by valuable I mean like as kind of like a boyfriend potential. Okay, and she trusts you, that you're not just, you know, trying to use her for sex, use someone else for sex, and then move on and move on. So, those are some tips. What do you guys think? So, Apo says, the way you subtitled your video made me laugh. Thank you very much, Apo. Yes. Oh, thanks for laughing at my joke. Oh, God. What's happening there? Oh, God. Okay. So, Ryan Dart, he says, what is the logic of the pursuing? Could you explain that a little more, Ryan? And Eric G says, okay, what's the alternative term you'd use to lay count? Eric, I would say I will try to make a connection with women. That's very female gaze. That's how women would say, fuck, have sex, make a connection. Find women that I have chemistry with. That's definitely the female gaze way of saying that. So Eric says, I'm not necessarily using PUA lingo to talk PUA. It's just conveniently a word that popped into my head. Well, indeed, I'm just letting you know, women will not like that term, just FYI. Or sex says, but the comments aren't making sense right now. What do you mean by that? Zachariah says, yeah, be that as it may, Eric, it is icky in a girl's mind. Exactly, Zachariah, you are right. Ivan Gia says, hi, you're awesome. Your videos were all from years ago, so it's awesome to see you're still about doing stuff. Yes, thank you, Ivan. Indeed, you are correct. I do lives. I've been doing lives since, but videos, I'm annoyed by, so. JD, sup V? Hello, JD. Blaze says, why do you say that men should put a lot of effort to get women and women don't have to do anything? Because, Blaze, women don't have to do anything, okay? In your ideal fantasy world, yes, it would probably be like a patriarchy with like women begging for men's like approval and doing anything that men wanted to, get access to men, but that's not the world we live in, okay? The real world is that women are more in demand and men can't get women and women can get men, okay? So whether or not you want women to do more for you is kind of irrelevant because they don't have to, all right? So you can fantasize about it. You can have some like cool male dom fantasy if you want, where like women are like begging for men's approval, but in the real world, it's not reality. So all you guys are like, what do you bring to the table? It's like, okay, well, they don't have to answer you even. They don't even have to deal with you because they're going to get like hundreds of men regardless of your demands and you're going to get nothing. Okay? So that's the truth of it. So So, yeah. Hyacinth de la Synthome says, "Hi, Victoria. Trans girl here. I don't know how that helps your info gathering." Oh, I think you could absolutely help my info gathering. You probably have some very excellent insight into both sides of things. So, welcome and give us your insights as well. So Historial de Guanteo says, when she pulls back, I sometimes go no contact and don't respond to her for a lot of hours. She clearly doesn't like that and diminishes her trust, but I also don't like when she pulls away. It's difficult. Yes, Historial. In my opinion, you're going to, if you want her, you're going to have to give up so much of the push and pull, in my opinion. In this situation, I think. That's what my boyfriend did. And it worked for him. Andy Chow says, what's your MBTI personality type, Victoria? I typed you as ENFJ. I typed Beardo as ISTP. You are in a dyad pair. Validation/authority are your cognitive motivations. You are a great teacher. Well, you are incorrect, Andy Chow. I am actually INFP. And Beardo is INTP. So, yes. What are you? And what are you guys? Any other INFPs out here? So, Canal says, I just woke up. Good morning. Good morning. Be what it is they have to do more for me. Otherwise, I got other stuff to do. Okay, but then you're just gonna be like a virgin forever and have no intimacy and affection in your life. And if you guys honestly want that, I guess, but I wouldn't want to live that way. So then Trailblazer says, I've very much appreciated your videos. There's a different hit to your advice/perspective coming from a woman instead of a man. I agree. There is. Thanks for saying that. Drewski super chatted me. Thank you so much, Drewski. And he says, I can't understand why a man would go through so much effort to pursue a woman when he can just go out and play a sport instead. Drewski, have you had a relationship and have you had sex? Okay. Because once you have had sex, you realize that sex is very amazing and it's a lot better than playing a sport. And I don't know how much you guys are into emotional connection and affection and intimacy and all that, but that's very amazing too. And trust me, it's a lot better than playing a sport. So maybe once you have had it, you will understand why it's so good. And trust me, sports, they don't compare. I mean, really, like, does anyone really think like soccer, it's better than sex or something? Or like golf, it's better than sex? I mean, if so, you're having really bad sex. Honestly. Like, if you'd rather play like golf than have sex, like you're having very, very boring sex. Very non creative, um, very non kinky, very non intense sex, in my opinion. So, what do you think, Drewski? Do you disagree? Let me know. Thank you so much for your super chat and you sharing your opinion. So, what do you guys in the chat think? Daniel Reyes Alers. Hey, Daniel. He says, dating ain't easy. No, it's not. It's not. Hyacinth says, hey, Victoria. So, if you were in an open relationship with a man who loves your channel, how do you feel about a partner sleeping with a married woman? Okay, so I'm in an open relationship with a man who loves my channel. and he's sleeping with a married woman. Well, first of all, I'd have to get into the mindset of, okay, I'm in an open relationship, so I'm okay with that. But my partner's sleeping with a married woman. Is this married woman in an open relationship, or did he just kind of like cheat with this married woman? Because, yeah, I'd definitely be like, what the hell? Why are you sleeping with a married woman? Like, this is weird. Like, what's going on with you two? It's a little weird. What would you think of it? I don't know. Interesting question. Elvis says, ha 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 ha, this girl. Yeah. Okay, what about you, Elvis? Eric says, I'm fine with doing all the work. Hell, I'll add on, like in the last live, that I'd rather bear the cross and endure hell so she doesn't have to. Very good, Eric J. Zachariah says, I mean, that's kind of true. I feel like you can work on yourself to attract, but a lot of guys today can't just go outside and play a sport. Haypo says, that was brutal, lol. DJ Seafair says, Yo, Victoria, I share your content with other men as secret sauce. You're super knowledgeable. Thank you so much, DJ. That's very nice of you. Ken DeLeo says, sex is overrated. Well, I really can't agree with that one, okay, Ken DeLeo. I mean, you might be asexual, gray sexual, somewhere on the low sex drive spectrum where they kind of could take or leave sex, and I guess I have to accept that. But us over on the hypersexual spectrum, we or side of the spectrum, we can never agree with this take. It's just, it's a no from me, Ken, but it's okay. That's your take. So Hyacinth says, he and I have been open for the majority of our 13-year relationship, but I've recently been struggling with the amount of effort he's put into this coworker who wants to screw him. Yeah, that's weird. And she's married? That's wild. Yeah, that I would feel the same way, honestly. So Alex says, for a girl, what is the best thing to do when in subspace? Have sex with a dom, I guess. Why do you ask, Alex? Andy says, INTP here, struggled in my childhood, experienced neglect from a large family. I used your teachings to get out of the friend zone with an ENTJ. Pet play, talking about dreams, played as mentor. Very good, Andy. Very good. Very good. That's great. You know, when I was in high school, like the first time I took the Myers-Briggs test, like somebody came in my junior year in high school and they gave us a test and like talked about it. And I actually was INTP back then. But I guess as I matured, I changed to INFP. Hey, dog and lover. Be what it is. I got 4 kids. Just finished watering my orchard before texting women back. Lots of daytime stuff is worth more than everyday sex. If you say so, be what it is. So Han says it all depends on if he knows he's sleeping with a married woman or not. The woman definitely knows. So okay. Alma says, I've been listening to a couple of romance novels recently. I think it's been helping. So what have you learned from it, Alma? Wonderful. So Vargan says, what are some early signs that a certain woman is a bad person? Basically things to watch out for that men may not be aware. Well, I hate to be like a broken record, but you guys all got to read this book, The 5 People Who Can Ruin Your Life. I know I mention it basically every live, but it's just so eye-opening. Talks about like the early signs of personality disorders, and there's another book by the same author, and it talks about these personality disorders in dating and what to look out for. It's really good. I think it's called Dating Radar, and it's by the same guy, Bill Eddy. But you know, that book will really tell you like it all. Like honestly, like I can't say it better than that book. But I mean, someone who can like never apologize, never see your perspective. someone who lies, someone who doesn't kind of have like much of a conscience. These are all bad signs, in my opinion. Um, someone who, I guess, can't like. Well, I guess I kind of covered most of it, but someone. Well, I would avoid all that for sure. What would you guys add? So Samson says, any advice for a 26-year-old man who isn't on dating apps and hasn't had anything intimate for a few years? Yes, Samson, I would first go to see some legal sex workers and get over this dry spell. Then I would get on dating apps. I would start looks maxing. I would make sure you go to one of those stylists you see on TikTok who will like cut your hair in a way that just really complements your face and whatnot. I would, if you have the money, invest in different like image consultants, get a whole new wardrobe, or rather just one outfit you could wear on dates that's very stylish. You can get advice from a very stylish woman you know, or just kind of do what my friend Philosophy Junkies is, which is watch dating shows like F Boy Island and take inspiration from the elite looks maxers on shows like that. But yeah, the looks maxing is very important. Getting on dating apps is very important. Getting good pictures for your dating apps is very important. Okay. And there's like photographers you can hire who like specialize in making men look good on dating apps and knowing kind of like what masculine poses are, catering to the female gaze basically in your photos. So that would be good. So you get your dating app set up right. You get your looks maxing on. You get a good outfit. Um, if you do all that, if you looks max, and if you get a good dating app profile with good pictures, you will have a good foundation for getting dates. Okay, you can also work on talking to women in person. That's like a whole nother skill set. But that's really the baseline. Getting some options rolling in. Okay, whether that's through dating apps or whether that's through talking to women in person, whether that's through groups you join, you know, like a running group or a dance group or like a salsa class or something like that. But as soon as you get the options rolling in, then you can actually set up a date and you can actually go on a date. Okay. And in the meantime, you can take the advice I said first about going to see a legal sex worker. So Bean says, why is it the rougher I am during sex, the more into it the woman becomes? Well, the woman you're dating probably has a submissive kink. Okay. And I'm not telling you to just be rough with every person, but the woman you're referring to probably likes rough sex. Probably it triggers her submissive fantasies. And perhaps she doesn't want to, like, or, you know, a lot of people, they're not comfortable talking about sex, but they have submissive fantasies. And if you are intense and aggressive during sex, they might just really like it. So, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. She can't just come out and tell you, yeah, I'm into rough sex. I'm like really submissive. I like this during sex. I like that during sex. But sometimes people just kind of hope that the guy like takes the lead. Unfortunately, it's a very dangerous way of doing things, but a lot of unfortunately young women who aren't very educated about sex and what they like, they kind of just assume, oh, the guy's some kind of like sexpert and he knows what I like, so I'll just wait for him to take the lead and do it. So sad and risky and dangerous, but that's how it works. So Apo says dating radar. You say Bill Eddy. I believe that's his name. Yes. Um, great advice, Russell Cameron Thomas. Law Park says, I'm sad you skipped over my comment. I didn't see it, Law Park. Let me know. Just copy and paste it again. Maybe I'll get it this time. YouTube kind of scrambles it a bit because I have the top chat, so I don't know what that's about. So Eric G says, Vic, correct me if I'm wrong. If a F-boy sells a dream and strings along while a playboy doesn't sell a dream, is present, forms a bond, and if he leaves, he'll do so when she's better than when they met. I don't really agree with all that, Eric G, but I don't think that's how like women would see it. Like, oh, a playboy is much better than an F boy. I think women think of just like a playboy as like a guy who's like really rich and he kind of like lives a lifestyle that is not very serious. Whereas an F boy is someone who like is good with women, but he basically wants to just fuck and move on. But okay. Law Park says looks maxing isn't as important as being confident in who you are. Confidence is more important than looks, but if you're confident, then you'll want to look good too. Well, Law Park, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I I know it's perhaps a close call. Who will win, looks maxing or confidence in yourself and who you are? It depends because confidence in who you are, I mean, are we talking about someone who's like so confident in who they are that it's just wowing and impressing everyone and everyone's loving it? Sure, okay. In that case, if this guy has some just elite level authenticity and charisma, sure, it beats out looks maxing. But in general, okay, just looks maxing versus confidence. There's a lot of guys who are, relatively confident and they're not doing as well as guys who are looking really good. But yeah, I guess there's levels because how hard did you look max? How hard did you go into your look? Are you at the level where you're looking like a model, or did you just slap some lotion on your face or whatever? So yeah, it's a tough call. Obviously, if you get to elite levels in both, they both can be very effective. But in general, I think you're going to get the bigger bang for your buck with looks maxing, in my opinion. Obviously, confidence is good too. So, be what it is says this is female gaze in a game. 1 to 5% of associations will deserve my effort in this way. Otherwise, go cook me something or grab some outside work. I don't know what you're talking about, be what it is. Apo says dating radar, why your brain says yes to the one who will make your life hell. Absolutely, Apo. That is the book. Thank you for finding it. Yeah, it's a very interesting book. I definitely like Five People Who Will Ruin Your Life a little bit better, but this one is specifically about these personality disorders in dating and how to not get into a relationship with toxic people who will make your life hell. It's very interesting as well. So Alex Demesky says, "What would your advice if I be your advice if I want to find out what a girl's specific kinks are? Would it just be best to just plainly ask her?" Well, you know, you can try plainly asking her, okay? Especially if you've reached the point where you've already had sex, okay? You don't want to just like ask her as you're messaging on a dating app, okay? But if you're already in the bedroom, um, you could ask, okay? Now, some girls, they're not comfortable talking about sex and they don't know themselves what they're into. Okay, so that can be a problem. I mean, if you met a girl at like a kink event, she knows what her kinks are. She's very what's the word? She's advanced sexually, okay? She's empowered sexually. But a lot of girls, they don't even look into it. It's so taboo. It's so stigmatized for women that they kind of like don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. So in that case, they're not just going to have a list on their phone of like, here are my kinks. Like, trust me, I know them well. So in that case, you're going to have to perhaps discover them with her, or you're going to have to kind of piece it together through media, in my opinion, that she's found hot. Like, for example, you could ask her, and this is maybe after you've had sex like once or twice, like, what's a scene in like a movie or a TV show that you find really hot? Okay, because these things are clues. These are kind of like the tip of the iceberg where there are themes in these movies, themes in these TV shows that relate to kinks, but people don't really know why they like them. They just think, oh, that's hot. But they don't understand that there are patterns there. Like, for example, I recently watched a movie that I used to find really hot as like a teen because I wanted to know what was so hot about this movie to me. And with the knowledge I have now, looking back at this movie, I'm like, oh yeah, I know exactly what kink that was. At the time, I didn't know. I was uneducated. It took a long process of basically reading about my kinks, learning about my kinks, kind of honing my kinks through just reading like thousands of erotic stories that I finally like honed in and pinpointed through trial and error. Lots of sexual experience. I kind of realized, oh yeah, this is what I'm into. A lot of girls don't have that. Okay, so it would be great if they did. If you could just straight up ask them, what are you into? You know, but that's too much for a lot of people. You could try it. I'm just saying you might not get anything. So I like that movie scene or book scene, or if they like are into romance novels, read one of the novels they like, and then you can talk about it and ask them what they like about it, stuff like that. So Historial has super chatted me. Thank you so much. And he says, I broke up with my ex 6 months ago. We kissed Monday, and now she's asking about my intentions. I love seeing her, but also want to see someone else. Is it possible to propose this in a gentle way? How should I approach it? Um, well, I don't think there's any way around this, Historial. You basically have to be straight up with her. You can, I guess the gentle way to do it is to just kind of really pad what you say with compliments, like, you know, trust me, I love, like, so she's like, so what are you, what are we going to get back together? Like, what do you want? And you can say something like it is like so incredibly hot seeing you again, kissing you again. You're so sexy. Like, oh my god, like you're stunning, you're gorgeous. Like, I think this about you. But like, I'm at a time in my life right now where I've also been seeing this other girl, or there's this thing I have with this other girl. So I fucking hate saying that, but I'm in like a complicated situation right now. So that way you kind of preserve, you don't make her feel rejected because you're telling her you're sexy, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you're hot. I love having sex with you. This is so incredible, or whatever. I love kissing you. But the fact of the matter is, I'm in this complicated scenario with someone else. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's the truth. I mean, you haven't seen each other for 6 months. Like, she should expect that there's probably something going on with someone else. So I think that would be a good way to do it. So Wagner says, if my memory doesn't fail me, you once mentioned some chords about how to dom women in bed. You knew someone, perhaps Beardo, who was considering creating it. How has it come out about? Might have been like Sterling Cooper's course I mentioned, or yeah, I've told Beardo he should make one, but he hasn't made one yet. Dogalova says, I think a big aspect of advice men need is to go to therapy. Misogynistic othering and lack of empathy is antithetical to a successful dating life with women. I agree with you, Dogalova, honestly, but the problem is, I feel like a lot of therapists, they're no better themselves than a lot of these guys. Like, trust me, I listen to this podcast run by therapists every week, and I was actually in training to be a therapist, and it's not like they're dating experts either. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the advice that some of these therapists give, and I've seen in my consultations, the advice they give about like dating is sometimes just so bad and so off. And also sometimes with female therapists, they really don't understand kind of like the male situation. And they also give, in my opinion, very bad advice and are very unempathetic themselves. But I do agree with you in that, some of these guys out here are just so misogynistic that they're literally going to repel women every time they open their mouth. I just don't know if like a therapist is the one to help them with it. Maybe they are. Maybe I'm wrong, Dogalova. What do you think? And also, are they really going to learn like empathy in therapy? But I agree with you that the lack of empathy is antithetical to a successful dating life with women. So you make some good points, but it's just like I don't feel like therapists are always the perfect solution, but maybe I'm just throwing therapists under the bus. What do you think? Apo says sex is a form of art, no copying, be creative. I completely agree, Apo. Alma says romance novels taught me to just put myself out there. Women don't walk around like, ooh, I'd sleep with that guy. I wouldn't sleep with that guy. She's often turned on when you just go for it. Well, I do agree with your first sentence, just putting yourself out there. In your last sentence, I agree with, with caveats, but yes, I agree with that. But your middle sentences, I kind of think women do that a little bit. But I know what you're saying. So, damn, I'm like losing track of the chat here tonight. So, Elvis says, okay, I will ask you a question. What is the best books that delve deep into maintaining relationships? Um, Honestly, Elvis, I would, if you want a book that is about maintaining a relationship, I would recommend the book Feeling Good Together by David Burns. That book got me by far the most bang for my buck in that respect and in my boyfriend's respect as well, or rather, from my boyfriend's perspective, it did the best. It made the most impact on him in terms of maintaining our relationship. 100%. It taught him the skills, in other words, that he needed to maintain our relationship. So that's an amazing book. Feeling Good Together is brilliant. It's like a life-changing book. So Corn Muffin says, what are some of your favorite books? Well, I have a link in all my descriptions on my videos to my Amazon page where I link some of my favorite books as it relates to dating and relationships. So yeah, check that out. And Steve says, Victoria, what made you feel like Beardo is intelligent? It's a good question. He's very intelligent. But how did I know? What made me feel like that? I mean, well, first of all, like the first message he sent me, it was very well written. It was full sentences. It had a very good perspective and attitude behind it, like a very mature one that I knew was very unusual in dating. Um, and just like the way he talked, like when we first met, I could tell. Then when we had like deeper conversations, he was like a poker player and teaching me about poker when we first met because we met in Las Vegas. And I could tell, oh my God, this guy knows a lot about poker strategy and stuff. I don't know. It's very obvious with this guy because he's very smart. It's Beardo. It's quite apparent in my opinion. Even my best friend, when she met him the first time, she was just like, he's really smart. I wasn't thinking that was the first thing she would notice about him, but that was like the first thing she noticed too. So, but then that's a good question. Oh, we got Drewski over here. Drewski, thank you so much for your super chat again. He says, I felt affection for someone, but it doesn't feel as great as lighting fireworks or spinning around on ice skates. Drewski. Well, I agree that just feeling affection for someone might not match that high of lighting fireworks or spinning around on ice skates. However, what about having sex? That's a bit different than just feeling affection for someone. Okay, I agree. Spinning around on ice skates is a great feeling. Lighting fireworks, I'm not as familiar with, but the feeling of ice skating is wonderful. But I don't think it can match the euphoria of having sex. Maybe if you were on drugs while spinning around on ice skates, that would be more like sex, in my opinion. But what do you guys think? An affection, that's very mild on the spectrum, in my opinion. So yeah, I could see why it doesn't match those feelings. And are you like a hockey player or a figure skater? It's very cool. Thanks again for your super chat. Russell Cameron Thomas says, definitely learn to avoid people with real personality disorders, narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder. And is that oppositional personality disorder, or what is that one? Yes, that's what that book, Five People Who Can Ruin Your Life, is about. And also the dating radar, both about that. Yes, so important. You just feel like they're not out there until you meet one of them, and then you're like, oh my God. So BKGJ says, why do women think they can read a man's confidence? You would never know via YouTube comment whether someone is confident, so how can IRL be so different? That's interesting, because like I agree to an extent. Like people aren't great at reading like how confident you are, in my opinion. But there are certain tells and certain signs, even in YouTube comments. So, yeah. Hedney says, is Victoria a big Jordan Peterson fan? No, I am not. I'm actually a big Jordan Peterson hater. So, Law Park says, the power dynamic is skewed towards women. They want to lock down your house, your income, etc., and they can withdraw the intimacy and sex at any time, but you can't withdraw the house. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to this point, but if you don't trust someone, if you don't have a good sexual connection with someone, don't get married and lock down, merge everything you own with another person, in my opinion. It's not very smart. At the very least, get a prenup, right? Bob Bill says, she's ran through lol. I don't know if you're talking about me, Bob Bill, but yeah, I have a lot of sexual experience, and that's why I actually know things, unlike a lot of you virgins out there. So, let's see. Jacques says, the more I learn about women, the deeper my determination to be alone. I don't want children, so why would I want to immerse myself in all this irrationality? This is a serious question. I mean, this question, first of all, I don't see the question. The question is, the more you learn about women, the more you want to be alone. You don't want children. So why would you want to immerse yourself in irrationality? Well, you're assuming that all women are irrational, which they're not. So I don't feel like what you've learned about women is very accurate. But if you want to be alone and you don't want children, go for it. No one's stopping you. It's going to take a lot of work to actually undo all your, in my opinion, quite toxic beliefs that you've learned from, the red pill gurus about women. It's going to take a lot of effort to look smacks. It's going to take a lot of effort to learn relationship skills. So, yeah, if you don't want to do it, do not do it because you're just going to waste your own effort. Yeah. So, I mean, why would you want to? Because women are actually great, and having a relationship is awesome, and having sex is awesome, and having intimacy and affection is awesome, and having love is awesome. But if you don't want that, you kind of have to want it because it's going to take work. So, yeah. So, Dog Lova says, don't get me wrong, nobody should go to a therapist for dating advice, but speaking as a cis man, the origin of anger toward women has to do with being hurt by a woman, usually their mother. If you say so, Dog Lova, I don't really like or tend to agree with that, but why always blame the mother? The mother is doing like everything for you. Like, I get that some people have very toxic mothers, but what about the father? The fathers can be quite abusive as well. Why is it always the mother's fault? Two Loved Things sent me a super chat. Thank you so much. And he says, what advice do you have for sex offenders to date? Oh my lord, I cannot. I don't even know if you're trolling me or not, but I have no idea, unfortunately. I apologize for that, I guess. I'm curious, what is your offense? And thank you for your super chat, but unfortunately I don't know. What do you think? Are you trolling me? Is this guy trolling me, or what do you have to say? Flesh this out a little. So, let's see. Crazy says, hey, would it freak you out if a guy communicated with you through real telepathy? Is that just too scary for a woman to experience? Well, I don't believe in telepathy, so, but maybe if a woman believed in it, it would be like scary. I don't know. Hyacinth says, preach, girl. I love how much effort you put into teaching these men. Oh, thank you so much, Hyacinth. So, Steve says, Victoria, what's the most attractive muscles on a guy for you? Probably something in like the shoulder area. That, I don't know. Probably. Yin Yang says, do not give this person time. Why not, Yin Yang? Oh, even if he is trolling, that's crazy. Yeah, I know. Hedony says, okay. To Love Things says, I'm not trolling. I have damn near the worst defense you can get, but I didn't go to prison because it was a freak accident. It involves a minor. Okay, you're definitely trolling me. To Love Things for sure. So then Siri says, how do I initiate a conversation / flirt or get a number of girls while she's at work, such as cashiers, waitresses, and etc., without coming across as creepy or bothering them? Thank you. Well, there's really no way around this one, Siri. You're going to have to accept that in a significant portion of these cases, you will come off as creepy or bothering them. So once you accept that, then you can do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way around that. I mean, they're literally like a captive audience. They have to be polite to you. They are kind of like in the line of many men per day who are trying to do the same thing. So just accept that you might come off as creepy, you might bother them. But guess what? Sometimes it works out. So take the chance anyway. So, Historial, thank you so much. He says, for a super chat, he says, would you give her a book? She mentioned borrowing one twice in college, but is embarrassed to ask for it again and can't afford it. I want to write a dedication, but don't want to overdo it since she tends to keep her distance when I give her things. Yeah, give her a book. I'm confused of like the different situations. Like, is this your ex who you kissed, but you want to date someone else? Or is this someone you actually want to get back? Let me know in more detail what the true situation is, but giving her this book seems like a fine idea in my opinion. And yeah, don't overdo it. But yeah, why not? Fill us in on the full situation there. Alrighty. And thanks again so much, Historial. Natsu says, why are women gossiping all the time? Well, they're not gossiping all the time. By gossiping, do you mean talking or like talking about people? Or, yeah, I mean, because they're definitely not gossiping all the time. That's like a very sexist stereotype. So, Matt says, Vic, what's your advice on how to keep accurate views and assessments on both men and women in general when dating? I see that some of the comments specifically on women are rather extreme. Yes, they are really extreme. I agree. And I feel like it's from watching a lot of YouTube videos from men that don't really have much experience, like, with women. I don't know, maybe just focus more on getting experience than kind of like getting people's theories on YouTube, I guess. Like, I know that's kind of ironic since I'm kind of doing the same thing, but you know, if you don't meet women in person, if you don't actually get rejected in person, if you don't get your own experience from your own experiences in person, I think it's very easy to become radicalized with very bizarre views that really don't match up to the way things are in the real world. Like, I see it in myself, even. Like, I can just get very radicalized by all the extreme comments I get, and I get very negative about men in general. And when I actually meet men, I'm like, they're awesome. But if I never met men in real life, I would basically be like an extreme man hater because I would never have anything to temper that with, like, wow, it's actually not like that in the real world, you know? And I think it's the same for men. It's like they're never talking to a woman, but they have all these red pill people telling them, like, women are the root of all evil and they're like irrational emotional beings who are just hormonal constantly and they're on their periods and they only want to have sex when they're ovulating and all they care about is chat and monkey branching, and the second you share a feeling with them, that's the second they just ditch you and take your house. And it's like on and on and on. It's like, bro, like, maybe just share a feeling with the woman in real life and you'll see that that's not the second she like ditches you and like jumps on Chad's dick. It's just crazy, like some of the views people get. And some of the guys who are telling these views, I'm like, there's no way you're out there getting women either. So you have to be careful who you take advice from, in my opinion, and actually focus mostly on getting out there and forcing yourself to meet real people. What do you guys think? What's your impression? Hey, we got an amazing super chat from Alex Demeski, thank you so much for your super chat. He says, if a man is dating for a serious relationship, what do you think his goals should be on the dates? Well, Alex, like that's a really good question. But I'm curious, like what you're thinking, because in my opinion, his goals on the dates. Here's the thing. Okay, most women are open for a serious relationship, so it's not like guys think where you have to weed out these girls who are like just into casual sex, which is like a male fantasy, um, and find the girls who are like serious about a relationship. And a lot of guys, they also think like, oh, well, she likes to party, therefore she would never be like good in a serious relationship. Again, that's not true. Like a girl who likes to party could be someone very good in a serious relationship. A girl who has a high body count could be, a wonderful person for a serious relationship with, especially with someone who has a high sex drive. Like, there's many myths that guys think about, like, oh, this girl is not fit for a serious relationship. But anyway, in my opinion, your goal on the date should be to have a conversation with them, to really try to like get to know them, what kind of person they are, um, to flirt, to hook up, to have sex, and to establish like your sexual chemistry, your sexual compatibility, your you know, whether or not your kinks match, the way you like to have sex matches, you could call that chemistry, I guess. Whether or not your sex drives match, because that would be very important in a serious relationship. You don't want to get into some kind of dead bedroom situation, or just a situation with someone, with a low sex drive or a high sex drive, vice versa, that just really is going to like make your life a living hell for the next, decades of your life. Um, you want to make sure they don't have any serious personality disorders or tendency to lie or anything like that. Um, but yeah, I think the goal should just be have a conversation, flirt, feel out the chemistry, and take it from there. Like, that's why I guess I was a little confused, Alex, because I'm like, in my opinion, just going on a date and doing that date the right way, in the sense of you're actually having a real conversation where you're asking questions, you're getting to know her, you're asking about who she is, you're observing who she is. And then, of course, you're also escalating to create the sexual chemistry and judging that as well. That's enough, right? So please fill me in, Alex. Is there something I'm missing with this question? What kind of things were you thinking of? I'm curious. Actually, Russell Cameron Thomas, I'm noticing you commented on this, and I think that's great advice as well. That's very good advice. And thank you so much, Alex. I really appreciate your super chat. So, thank you, James Howlett, for that very nice compliment. Literally the most insightful person on the topic of female psychology on YouTube. Very nice. And Steve says, Victoria, what do you imagine an exciting date would look like for you? That's a good question. That's a very good question, Steve. You're asking some great questions. For me, it depends. Like, was I just broken up? I'm lonely. I'm desperate. I'm just looking to meet someone again. Or would it be like, I'm in a relationship with Beardo, but somebody just tempts me with like an extremely exciting date? I don't know. Guys, do you guys want to do a quiz? Because I got some quiz stuff for you. I could do a few before I have to go to bed anyway. So, all right, guys. I think I got through most of the chat. James Howell says, would you say that an alpha male is itself an archetype, or is it more like a set of characteristics, traits that multiple archetypes of men can demonstrate? Yes, James, that is a wonderful question. And I think that I, you know, I didn't specify that when I talk about like alpha in all my videos and stuff. And of course, people choose one definition or the other. And if they're choosing like the first definition that you have of just an alpha male is like one archetype, they just define that archetype however they have it in their head. Like, oh, he's like the Terminator, or he's really loud and obnoxious and he's always the center of attention, or this guy is so tough he could never fall in love. It's like people have so many different ideas of what an alpha is, and they make up their own definition of it, and then they hurt their own feelings thinking, "Oh, I can never be that guy." And like then they're crying about it in my comments and I'm just like, "Oh my god." So, yes, I think like for women, it's more like a set of characteristics slash traits that multiple archetypes of men can demonstrate. And also, you know, it it's kind of like it's almost like a point system, you know? It's like if you're good in certain areas, the different women will value certain areas more highly, and the more you can kind of like build up in certain areas, the more alpha you will appear to them, but it's weighted differently for different women. So, yeah, it's not like this hard and fast thing like an alpha is this. But of course, you could just use it in kind of this general way, just kind of like this high value man who's like strong and masculine and like tough or whatever. There's so many ways you can use it. So it's not really the best term, but it can be useful. So yeah. What do you guys think? LD says, yo, Beardo had just entered the chat. He did? I didn't see that. Like, for example, James, like on my video I have right now, and it's this video about alpha in love. Okay. And it's this concept that that's what women want. Okay. They want a guy they perceive as alpha, and they want him to form like this deep bond with her. That's the in love part. So it's like this two-part thing, right? And so many guys on that video are just like, but that's so ironic because an alpha could never fall in love. And like so many women want the alpha, but they never get him. I'm like, but what you guys don't understand is two women, a guy who is alpha is someone they respect, someone they admire, and someone who has like a combination of traits that is like highly useful and attractive to them and that they admire and respect. That could be like a different combination of traits for basically each woman. But I mean, there's kind of like many admirable traits, but like for example, I really value intelligence, okay? So like for me, a guy who's like very intelligent, I find very alpha, okay? And of course, looks is like another powerful alpha trait you could have. You could have money, you could have status as a LMS, right? But you could also have like musical talent, you could have amazing social skills. So it's like when the woman kind of feels like, okay, he's crossed the threshold, he has enough traits I respect and admire that I perceive him as like high status because of those traits. They would kind of see him as an alpha in their head. But it's not just one thing like, well, when I see a clone of Arnold Schwarzenegger, then I know I have come across an alpha or whatever. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Renew the R wand. Thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate it. And I didn't see a question from you, Renew the R wand. But if you have one, let me know, and I will certainly answer that for you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Um, oh, here we go. Renew the R1 Blue says, Hi, Vic. Recently, when I was in a bar, a woman introduced herself and we shook hands. She continued holding my hand after we shook, and I was the first to let go. Just wondering if I should have continued to hold her hand until she let go. Same thing happened with a woman previous to this one. Well, renew the R1 since it's happened twice. Perhaps, who knows, maybe you are letting go of your handshakes a little too soon. Okay? So, would it hurt to just give like a few more extra shakes? But I don't think this is really important in a woman's mind. Like, oh my gosh, what a beta. Like, he let go before me. Ah, pathetic. You know what I mean? If anything, she might have interpreted that as, oh, he seems a bit like disinterested in me. So, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because then you kind of have like the upper hand a little bit because it's like she has to impress you. But it really depends on what you did after this, which is the most important thing. Did you ask her out? Did you continue flirting? Did you do some banter? Um, did you get her number? That's the real important thing, not how long you held the handshake. Although probably couldn't hurt if the women are always not wanting to let go, just keep doing it. But yeah, what do you guys think? So WZ says, what does it mean when girls say they don't feel the connection after like 2 dates? Well, WZ, this is usually a sign that, you didn't really create enough chemistry on the date. Maybe you didn't kiss her at the end of the first date. Maybe you didn't create any chemistry, no sexual tension, no compliments, no flirtation. Yeah, so that's usually what they mean. It's like, okay, we had nice conversation like as friends, but I didn't feel a romantic spark because you did not create that. It's not like I used to think when I was younger, like, oh no, I just lack that spark or whatever. No, guys create the spark. You know what I mean? By doing the proper dating etiquette and escalating on dates and whatnot. So if you don't do that, they're not going to feel a connection. So it's very important to do. TT says, no connection, buy her more stuff. No, that's very bad. But hopefully you're joking, trolling me, TT. All right, guys, shall we do a quiz before bed? Or before tea or brunch or wherever you are in the world? All right, give me some time and I will get it up. All right, guys. Let's do this one, okay? All right, guys, it's time for a quick pop quiz, all right? This one's going to be easy for you, I hope. Okay? So, you guys ready? Just a little quiz. Maybe we'll do a couple quizzes and then I'll go, all right? So, as I always say, put your dunce caps on and put your pencils down. All right? Wait, do I have a super chat here that I missed? Oh, no. From before. Okay. So, guys, it is a Tinder profile. All right? Here's what he says. Pussy is rampant. It isn't something special. Grown man. I am the guy most girls want but don't realize is like less than 1% of actual men. You will need to pursue me some. I'm good where I'm at. Seeing if there's any girls left that know the value a real man has and the limits of their looks. 6'3", 200 pounds, 130K per year. engineer by day, guitar, pianist, vocalist at night, all day. Under 25 preferred. All right, guys. So, my question to you is, does this come off alpha? Does this come off high value? Does this come off well? Will any women be like, damn, he's a dom? Damn, this is like a strong masculine guy? Or will they think, what a beta poser? Which one do you think there's actually anything good in this profile? And do you think his method of writing his profile is actually effective and good? Let me know what you guys think. Get your answers in. I'll read it one more time, okay? And tell me what is wrong with it. If you think there's something wrong with it, tell me what it is, which part is the worst, why it's bad, or why it's good, okay? All answers will be judged. All right, so let's read it one more time. Pussy is rampant. It isn't something special. Grown man. I am the guy most girls want but don't realize is like less than 1% of actual men. You will need to pursue me some. I'm good where I'm at. Seeing if there's any girls left that know the value a real man has and the limits of their looks. 6'3", 200 pounds, 130K per year, engineer by day, guitarist, pianist, vocalist at night, all day, under 25 preferred. What's wrong with it? What's right with it, guys? Let me know, because a lot of you guys in the comments, not necessarily tonight, but throughout my lives, I'll just say, a lot of guys try to take this approach, all right? So is it good or bad? What do you guys think? All right, you got 10 more seconds to get your answers in. Okay. All right, guys, put your pencils down. Let's read your answers. So, Drewski says, bruh. Steve laughs. TT laughs. Hans says, Sigma. Good one, Hans. Hyacinth says, I don't care about real men. How boring that you feel the need to tell me what your value is. Yes, Hyacinth, I agree. TT says he's selling himself. James says, LMFAO. Geez, bro needs to relax. LD says, thumbs down. Russell Cameron says, oh, that is this emoji. B what it says, scam account. Doug Love says, this is insecure as shit. LMAO. James says, no, he sounds like an uptight schmuck. Hans says, lol. Andy says, women want to be the prize. No women would waste their time with that person. Sounds like a front. Very good, Andy, because you gave me an actual reason. For that reason, I am giving you an A, because what you said is actually kind of profound. TT says, of course, some women will fall for it. Will they? They'd have to be pretty stupid at this point, but yeah. BKG says, no kidding, Isons, but then why do women rate themselves 10s? Well, that's a whole nother conversation we often get into on this channel. So, what it says, bro trying to get a money order for a hardship. TT says, if he doesn't pick himself up, no one else will. Okay, TT, it seems like you're kind of changing your tune on this. Han says it's funny. TT says, I like him. Archetypal Moss says, it could be perfect if they had a punchline in the end. I don't know if any women are going to get to the end, but yeah. Andy says, women get 1,000 hits to crash their phone. This doesn't work. Yes, Andy, very good point. Drewski says, grown man isn't something special. Great point. Yeah, like as opposed to what? Like child? Yeah. Great point. D says he probably gets matches, but if the girls feel like he isn't actually like that, then it doesn't go any further. Wow, D, you gotta be kidding me. Like you wow. Okay. Very interesting. Andy says scarcity mindset. Supernova says there is okay, well, that's a different question. Apo says now he knows who he is and what he wants, but he could be more suave, lol. Wow, Apo, really, you're falling for it. Renew the R1 Blue says terrible. If he's so great, it should be obvious to women. Plus, he's insulting women by telling them pussy isn't anything special and women need to pursue him. Yes, Renew the R1 Blue. You are getting an A+ for that one because I'm feeling generous. Yes, it's so true. Wagner says, it doesn't seem he should have to advertise it that way. Sounds insecure or fake and based on internet views of what is needed. 100% Wagner. A for you as well. Then this guy says, Camp Blast 7 says, he comes off really corny. You have to pursue me. I'm good where I'm at. He's going to get left on red. A plus, Blast 7. It's so true. Evan Wells 1 says, the worst part is know the limit of their looks. A plus, Evan Wells 1. I agree. That is the worst part. 100% extra credit for you. James says, I think the biggest issue is his lack of subtlety belies lack of a certain set of communication skills, the lack of which implies an inability to provide certain emotional things for women. You know, that's a very nuanced, great point, because I agree that the fact that I don't totally agree, but I think you have a very good point in that this direct way of communicating shows that he lacks basically the social skills, and he lacks the skills to connect with women in an emotional way. I think what you're saying. So yes, I agree. It does show this guy can't really communicate in a normal social way, and he's definitely not going to do well with women, which signals to women, this guy isn't good with women, so I don't want him either. But yeah, it's a very interesting point, James. LD says, nothing good, trash the entire profile, 100%. Absolutely. Steve says, it comes across as arrogant. Humility is always a value quality. He doesn't project any humility. Also, pussy as rampant part is probably drying up any chance he would have with women. 100%, Steve. I agree with you. Okay? There is a time and a place, in my opinion, for a guy to project misogyny and this kind of attitude, okay? And that is counterintuitively after he has projected respect, projected kind of like the appropriate dating etiquette, and after the girl's super turned on in the bedroom after a few sexual encounters, he could kind of turn up the misogyny. People like misogynistic kink play at times, okay? It's a common kink. So it could come in handy, but much later, not as a first encounter on an online dating profile. So, but I really like what you said, Steve, about humility. It's so true. It's always a valued quality. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to overdo it, but just kind of like a confident humility is like very valued quality. Yes. And the pussy is rampant part. Yeah. I mean, it's so true what you said. So, yeah. All right, guys. Oh, God, we got side memos and never ask a fish how to fish a fish. Why are you here? Should I just block you? Because I can. And I will if you want me to. It's like, never ask a man to have an original thought because they just regurgitate never ask a fish how to fish all the time, along with the other incel wiki, catchphrases. So stupid. Anyway. All right, guys. I will tell you my opinion on it. Most of you got it right, but surprisingly, many of you really thought it was cool. Okay? I'm stunned. This is a perfect example of basically what they tell you to believe in the red pill world. Well, I know there's many different channels and whatnot, but this is pretty much like much of the red pill agenda. I don't know if I should call it red pill, but this is kind of like the fresh and fit agenda or whatever. And it doesn't work. Okay. You coming out and advertising this is your agenda is 100% of the time always going to backfire. Okay, like many of you guys said, it's insulting to women. It's telling, not showing. Um, it's comes off like someone who has no skills with women, as James Howlett said. Um, it's misogynistic and sexist in so many ways, and those are other things that will turn off women instantly. So, yeah, guys. So, first, let's say pussy is rampant. It isn't something special. Agreed. This is something that women are going to be instantly like, ugh, who does this guy think he is? You know, grown man that's not going to impress women. I am the guy most girls want. Show, don't tell. Okay. If you were really the guy most girls want, you would not be writing a profile like this that's going to repel like 99.99999% of women. Okay. You will need to pursue me some. You don't have to say that. If women are pursuing you, you don't have to tell them to pursue you. I'm good where I'm at. No one's buying that. Okay. Seeing if there's any girls left that know the value a real man has. Okay, if you're being pursued by so many women, why do you have to like just seeing if there's any girls out there who want to pursue me? I thought you're being, I thought you had options, allegedly. And then as someone said, the limits of their looks, that's the absolute worst. Insulting to women. I don't like your looks. You're nothing to me. You're ugly. What woman is going to like take this bait? Like, "Oh, I'd actually love to go on a date with a man who, like, calls me ugly. That sounds wonderful." And then 6'3", 200 pounds, like, women don't care about that. They don't even know, "Oh, wow, 200 pounds is, like, a good weight for 6'3". They don't know, and they don't care. 130K per year. You could lie about that, women are not impressed by that. Engineer by day, wow. You play guitar, okay? Under 25 preferred. Again, even if you are under 25, this is just insulting to women in general. It's ageist. And okay, you might like girls under 25, but it's just insulting to women in general. And it's sexist. And women are kind of sensitized to these things, you know, even ones who are like 25. So, you know, they're not going to want to be with someone sexist, misogynist, obnoxious, with zero social skills, who is insulting to women. You get the point, guys. But yeah. Wagner says Vic, how old is the guy with that profile? Supposedly 39. You can see there, 39. CSGHD says, you can see the low self-esteem. He's afraid to be offended with his low self-esteem. So he's putting up his defense before any woman can get to him so he can value himself as win before loses. I agree, CS. Good point. Yes. Doggo Lover says, in analysis, he overcompensates for secretly self-perceived lack of value with braggadocio. It turns women off because they want to be pursued and energized by a man's self-affirmed aura. Yeah, interesting. D says, if he's inauthentic, a girl that matches with his profile and doesn't left swipe would probably end things if she thought he was actually insecure. Yeah. James says, yo, I'm a budding online dating coach. Would you be opposed to a collab stream sometime? I'd love to run some concepts by you. James, I now remember who you are because I was reading your comments on the chat, but then I'm like, James, how do I know this name? And then I remember, oh yes, James, I remember you. Well, my apologies, James. The only thing is I never have done any collab streams. I never do any collabs really because the one time I did a collab, it was terrible, honestly. So I kind of got scared. Well, I actually did 2 collabs, I guess. One was fine, the other one was terrible. So, I apologize. I probably won't do any collabs, but you're awesome, okay? It's not you. It's me. Trust me. So, oh, Evan Wells one says you forgot to pin your calendar link thing. Great point. You're right. All right, so should we do another quiz? All right, that one was too easy, but sometimes you guys shock me because a lot of times I think it's too easy, and then all you guys are like, "Oh, he's awesome." I'm like, "What the?" So yeah, let's go on to the next one. All righty. Okay. Keep talking amongst yourselves. I'm preparing the next quiz. All right, guys, here's a simple one. Okay? This is an important one, but very simple. All right? This is one that if you don't know this, it's going to affect you. I'll say that, okay? Here we go. Guys, this is a quick one. So, this guy commented on a photo of this girl, okay? And he just writes, sexy. Is this a good message, guys? Good or bad? Is this a good way to talk to someone on an online dating app? You comment on a picture of them and say they're sexy, attractive, you know, you know, any kind of like sexual comment about their body. Is this a good approach on an online dating app? Yes or no? Or is it nuanced and complicated? Let me know. So A post says no. He says bad. Lol Jersey says bad. AYB says it's basic but still good. TT says he's being honest. D says depends. All right, D, elaborate on depends because I'm not saying you're wrong. Andy says not for the beginning. Wagner says creepy. It's a good message in the wrong time. AYB says it's a basic line but better than saying how was your day. IDK says I don't see how that would make a girl excited to respond. Apo says sexy is too simple and dull, no thought, no depth. Oh yeah, and also like Apo did, say why it's good or why it's bad. Stefan says bad. Steven, perhaps. Dogolova says nuance. I would say leans bad, boring, and doesn't generate rapport, excitement, connection. Maybe if it was more creative, flirty. Archetypical Moss says, who's that sexy baldy by your side? That'd be good. Archetypical Moss, I give that A+. Hyacinth says, I don't care what this man thinks about me. I would much rather he engage on other merits, like you think I care about your opinions on something I already know. Great point. Hyacinth, yeah. D says it's not the best, but I've seen it work. You don't really know until they respond, and it escalates into a date/hookup. Good point. Good nuance. Okay, very good. Han says, looks like you already have a man. That's pretty funny. Said says, it's mean. She is yearning to have a man like a rock or a mountain. No comment, Saeed. I thought you thought it was the worst thing in the world to have a fish teach you to fish. So why? I'm curious why you're participating in the quiz. But hey, I'll forgive you. Blast says, I think it sucks. A woman hears that multiple times a day. There's nothing interesting about that message. Like it's so predictable. Where's he going with it? Very good, Blast 7. Wagner says bad timing. He doesn't know her enough, so he feels comfortable reading that. Renew the R1 says no unoriginal, and the girl's going to feel like her body is being judged right off the bat. Yes, I am giving you an A+ for that. You have hit on something very deep in female gaze and very core to the female mind. James says, nope, thing is, think girls need to genuinely feel seen, understood, and then screened for and ultimately selected according to some non-physical characters. This is very true, James. Steve says bad because all she can really reply with is thank you, and there's nothing really there to start a real conversation or create chemistry. Just comes across as another horny dude. 100%, Steve. You guys are doing some great stuff. IDK says he could have said, I really like this picture of you. Ugh, I don't like that either, IDK, but it's better for sure. CS says sounds creepy and straightforward with no real conversation or connection. Yes, 100%. TT says she's showing her body. Why shouldn't he judge it? Well, you all will be revealed in the answer soon enough, TT, and you can learn something tonight. Vargan says she would think he's just looking for a hookup. He's not asking for anything. Yep, Vargan, 100%. Okay. All right, guys, let's get to the answer. Oh, we got Samuel. He says it's a good message here because it seems humorous and flirty in this context because of the pic. All right, guys, like I said, this is very basic, and some of you guys are getting it very, very wrong. Okay. First of all, most women, well, let's look at this bottom. She blocked him. Okay. This person's dating profile is no longer available. Yeah, she blocked him. That's how much she liked it. And that's how much she thought it was good. Okay. Because this is not a good message for an online dating profile. Yes. Okay. If you're like insanely good looking, might the halo effect give you the benefit of the doubt and people are just like, yeah, okay, I'll just run with it because this guy seems like he would be good for a hookup, okay? But if you're just, in the 95th to first percentile of looks, this is not a good message, okay? If people are not giving you the benefit of the doubt and laughing at whatever like idiotic thing you're saying, you could do so much better, okay? So, like some people said, who said that? It was so good what you said about how like she's going to feel judged for her body. Yes, renew the R want. The girl is going to feel like her body is being judged right off the bat. Very well said, okay? And that is so true, and that is something that women don't like. They don't like to be judged for their body, okay? Not their face, their body, okay? Just that, all right? They don't like to feel like that right off the bat, okay? Because that's what most men see them as. Most men see them as like a collection of body parts, and they're sick of it, especially attractive women, okay? They're very sick of being looked at like body parts. Okay. Like, oh, nice circles, nice triangle, nice half circle. In other words, the smile, like nice S shape. They don't like that. This woman probably had a profile. She probably had like carefully curated pictures of herself, like hiking and doing yoga and like jumping in a lake or something, or at brunch with her friends. What they want in a message is for a guy to observe what they're projecting in their pictures and comment on something that's kind of personality or interest based about their profile. Okay. And if you say something like beautiful, that's a better compliment than sexy, in my opinion, because that can kind of encompass like your whole personality, your whole soul, rather than sexy is just like, I'm a horn dog who is very focused on breasts right now, or legs, or butts, and I see something sexy and I just say, sexy, I'm jerking off right now. It's very creepy. No women will like it. This woman blocked it. Okay. Maybe if you catch a woman who's like really horny herself, maybe, I'll give it like a 5%, and that's being very generous, chance that she'll just roll with it. Okay. But everyone else will just be like, ew, that's so lame. Bye. I'm blocking. So if you guys still think this is a good message, wise up, guys, and make a comment about something you see in her actual profile, okay? Like, oh, you know, you've been to this statue? Like, I love that statue. I used to go up there. Like, what? And then find some question to ask her. Ask a freaking question. Okay. That's way better than, okay, I guess it's the World War II memorial. You have to find something to actually connect on rather than nice bobs and vagine or whatever. Please. Okay. Very good. Apo says sexy equals caveman logic. 100%. I like that term, Apo. That's good. TG says men like nice bodies. Yes, they do. And women are very annoyed by that because it's like, please stop. It's like almost like necrophilia, like the way you guys act about like bodies. It's like, oh, let me just take the body. Like, let me just, who cares about like the face or like the voice? I'll just take the body, grab the boobs, and just fuck this. Goodbye. It's just so weird to women. Like the female gaze is like, you guys are truly weird. That's how they think about it. They like sex too, but not in the same way. Where it's just like, oh my god, the body, I love it. So yeah. Driss says tuned in at necrophilia. Yeah. That was a weird Driss, but yes. So YB says it's weird, but that's how beautiful y'all are. Yeah, like it's a double-edged sword because it's nice how you guys like love it so much, but it's kind of like a little bit like off-putting at the same time. So yeah. Yeah. So anyway, guys, do we have time for one more quiz? Should we do one more, or should we just call it a night? I'll try to find one more for you guys, and then yeah. Okay. I know I've got one more for you guys. Oh, look at this. I will give you guys some female dating strategy here, okay? Because I'm in this group, all right? And it's called the Burned Haystack Dating Method, okay? And this is a female dating strategy group, okay? It's a very popular method. Like I'm hearing about it all over, okay? And here is a graphic they posted in the group, okay? Which is called the Burned Haystack Dating Method Dating App Messaging Hierarchy, okay? So it kind of ranks what are the best messages you can receive on an app to what are the worst, okay? So I guess this isn't really a quiz, but more just like an educational material thing. So at the bottom of the the pyramid, excuse me, where it says immediate block, okay, is aggressive, sexually suggestive, hostile, or does not meet lowest levels of acceptable grammar, spelling, capitalization, etc., e.g., hey, you're hot, or any kind of pet name. That's an immediate block. All right, next level up, we got totally generic, but nothing technically wrong, e.g., good morning, Cindy, or hope you're looking forward to a nice weekend. I agree. That's a very bland, boring message that women will just ignore. Next level, specific comment on a pic of you that seems genuinely complimentary / inquisitive and not about your appearance, i.e., comments about kayaking on a pic of you kayaking. That's what I was just trying to tell you. You look at the pictures and you find something that's kind of like interest based and you comment on that. Level up from that, specific comment on your profile text, which is sincere, funny, interesting, etc. Yes, so that's you actually read the profile. Unlike most guys who are like, who reads the profile on here? It's like women read the profile. So you guys just look stupid. And then at the very top of the hierarchy is includes green level below and asks a thoughtful question or extends convo. Yes. Instead of just making a comment, ask a question to continue the conversation. That she ranks as the best opener, respond naturally and go from there. And the one below, which is the specific comment on the profile text, is good opener, respond naturally and go from there. And then the specific comment on a pic says respond, but only in kind, then wait it out and as described below. If convo dies, let it. So basically, she's saying the best thing to do is to actually read the profile and make a comment on what you've written in the profile. And a little below that is like, if you just like look at the pic and make a comment about the pic. I agree. I mean, if a guy actually reads your profile text, it does seem a little bit more like, oh, wow, he actually is like, I don't know. To a woman, it will seem like he actually likes me more than the way I look. Even if I'm, even if he commented about kayaking, he's just focused on the pictures, basically. So, anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. That's some real female game from the opposite team's playbook for you, okay? Don't tell anyone that I shared that with you. All right. Okay. Good night, James Hallett. Thanks for joining, and thanks for your great points. All right, guys. We got a lot of people who are saying, I love Chad. Chad is so awesome. Why can't I be Chad? Why can't I have Chad's dick? Why can't I have a dick the size of Chad's dick? I'm so sad. Guys, you need to stop with the Chad worship, all right? Become Chad. Don't worship Chad and his dick, honestly, because it's a little weird. All right. Okay. Some of these are just so obvious. Like this is just crazy. Like I don't even need to teach you guys this because you gotta know this by now. Here's another example, guys. It's too easy, right? But this is kind of like a big mistake. I mean, you should this one should just be like kindergarten level right now, but should I do this one? All right, this guy goes, "Hi." She goes, "Hello." He goes, "Your breasts are big and attractive. I like your lip piercing." Okay? Was it good or bad? Was it a good comment? Come on, this one's a gimme, right? So obvious. Okay. So you guys are saying uh it's horrible. AYB says I'd say it. Come on, AYB, you gotta be trolling me. Archetypical Moss says I can't. Um Wagner says, that's a voice from the bottom head, period. Jimmy says, yes, bad. Edward says, no, bad mixed signals. LD says, what about Tyrone? Bro laying heavy pipe too. Yes, I always forget about Tyrone. We've got to be, there's Chad and there's Tyrone. We've got to say both, not just Chad. So yes. Yeah. Lucifer says, bro let his intrusive thoughts win. Yep. Evan Wells, well, that is bad, but it looks like she replied with thank you. Wonder what the rest said. Probably she gave a piece of her mind by the end. Who knows? You're right, Evan Wells one. She trolled him right back. I can read it to you, but I didn't want to give it away. Russell Cameron Thomas says, only good if he is at a strip club and throwing bills at her in high volume. Russell Cameron Thomas, I can tell you from personal experience, even then it's not good. Even then, you don't want to say it like that, even at a strip club. Even if she has no top on, you don't want to say, your breasts are large and attractive. It's so gross. Trust me, not even strippers will like it. There's a better way you could say that, okay? All right, guys, you got this one, all right? Finally, okay, you have all graduated past kindergarten level, okay, of the female gaze. Very good. Unfortunately, not all men can say the same, so you guys can, and I'm very proud of my students today. Wonderful job, guys. Wonderful job. Okay. At least we know that. At least we know you guys know that. Great job, guys. Well, here's something I took for you guys, all right, which is pretty interesting. I made a video one time and it's called 17 Tests That a Man Needs to Pass in Dating, right? And a lot of you guys freaked out. They're like, 17 tests? What? You're giving me 17 tests? No way. This is not worth it. Men going their own way. Absolutely not. I'm not passing 17 tests. Women are trash. They freaked out. All right. So you guys are, if that's any of you, okay. I don't know how many tests this is, but it's probably like 50 tests. Okay. And it's this girl on TikTok and she has a spreadsheet. Okay. And she ranks guys in these 50 categories after every date. Okay. And it's similar to my 17 tests video, but it's even more detailed. Okay. I only covered some of like the highlights, right? This one's covering it all. And when I read through all her tests that she gives guys, I actually thought it was pretty good. It was pretty accurate, and it's pretty much what many girls are judging guys on dates. So I thought that it might be helpful for you guys to know some of the things. All right. So shall we go through it? What do you guys think? Should we go through it? Because this could be very helpful to you so you know what the criteria are that women are thinking about on dates. Okay? Han says 50? Not to 50. Yes. Okay. Dr. Lovett says, let's see who's up to the challenge. Now, that's the attitude we like to see on this channel, Dr. Lovett. Very good. Andy says, if it's accurate, let's go through all of it. Another excellent attitude. Wonderful. TT is taking notes. Very good, TT. You've got a lot to learn, but at least you're taking notes. Wonderful. Apo says, let's peek into that female pool of logic. Ah, yes. The female pool of logic. It can never be just like actual logic. It can just be like a swirling cesspool of logic, right? According to guys. All right, guys. Jimmy G says, if she is testing you, it's a good thing. Ooh, now that's an attitude we don't hear every day on this channel. D says she went on dates with 50 different guys, or was it 50 categories? I believe it's like 50 categories. LD says, hell yes, please, let's go. All right, let's go. Bob Bill must get in a few digs at women every so often, so here he goes. Saying the pool of logic is not very deep because women are emotional beings. Please review my last video I ever made on the 10 blind spots of men and the emotional beings fallacy. But anyway. All right, guys. So, first test women are giving you. Did he plan the date? I'll tell you guys, from my consultations, this is very important. Not everyone plans the date. Many just say, well, if you want to go on a date with me, get back to me and let me know when you are free. Okay, that's not planning the date. All right. So if you're not planning the date, you're already basically shot yourself in the foot. All right. So, yeah. Next test. Is he a good texter? Yep, that's a tricky one. Did he confirm the date the day of? Yes, that's another good one. Good thing to do, as taught to me by a master pickup artist, is you just say something like, hey, I'm going to be like 5 minutes late for the date tonight. Okay. That way, you don't have to say, hey, are we still on? And look kind of like an uncool loser, like, oh, are you going to flake on me? Or are you going to cancel? You can just kind of act like, oh, yeah, of course we're on. But I'm just running 5 minutes late because I'm such a busy man with like an important job. You know what I mean? And then if she's going to cancel, she can say, oh, sorry. And that way you don't get like stood up. You know what I mean? But yeah, you got to confirm the day of. All right. Was he on time/early? Always good to be on time because you never know who's going to abide by some ridiculous thing of like, if a man is 5 minutes late, I'm out of here or whatever, which is kind of crazy, but okay. Did he open your door? Okay, that's good. That's good. Just some gentlemanly stuff there. Did he open your car door? All right, this might be more in places where people drive. Sure. Did he pay for the date? Very important. Don't make the mistake of being that guy who says, well, since women want to be feminist, split it 50-50. You'll never see her again. And don't take her on an expensive date if you can't pay for the date. Take her somewhere that's kind of cool, but inexpensive, all right? Make sure you pay for the date because you'll just screw yourself if you don't. Did he tip well? Yeah, okay, that's important. Yeah, you don't want someone who's like insanely stingy or whatever. Was he kind to the waiter? That's everyone's favorite question, isn't it? Was he kind to the waiter? It's like, come on, think of something new. But yeah, sure, people. I mean, it's important to be kind to the waiter, but isn't most people are pretty kind. Like, I've never met somebody who's like insanely rude to the waiter. Have you? I don't know. Maybe my dad, he's a bit like, he's he's not rude, but he's just not like overly polite in the sense of, but he is kind in other ways. Like, you always ask them about themselves, but I don't know. Have you guys ever met someone who wasn't like super kind to the waiter? Let me know. If you guys have worked as waiters, maybe it's like there's little things people do that aren't as kind as they could be that maybe I don't even know about. But did he make good eye contact? Okay, that's something to think about. Did he pay attention to you during the day? That's important, guys. You don't want to be like, oh my gosh, I see two large and attractive circles at the table next to me and I can't stop staring. Help me, my eyes. They're attracted to the circles. Bring them back to my date. Oh no, now I can't look her in the eyes. Guys, that's not good. Did he ask good questions? All right, this is like the number one pet peeve of women all around the world. Men just thinking, I must impress her. I must show her I am right for the job. I am a Chad. No, guys, you have to ask questions on a date. Okay? It's very, very important. Did he look put together / nice? Guys, that's all you're going to get for the importance of the black pill. Okay? Has he looks maxed? Women are just going to see us. Did he look nice and put together? No. Did he like aggressively looks maxed for like at least 6 months? That's what you should translate that at. Was he as cute as you were expecting? Okay. Uh-oh. You better be looks maxing, guys. Did he compliment your appearance? What? But never compliment a woman. Never compliment a woman. That's what they tell you on the red pill, right? Never compliment a woman. But yet she's saying, did he compliment your appearance? Guys, that's what I always tell you on this channel. Compliment your appearance. Oh, no, I couldn't give a compliment. She'll know that I'm low value. Compliment her appearance, guys. Hey, we got a super chat here. JG. He's on the live, guys. Writing tornado style and watching the vortex simultaneously, maybe the most motivating moment I have had in a while. Oh, JG, yes, I have received your email. I cannot wait to read it. I'm very, very thrilled. You are in a tornado of writing. JG is going to produce something excellent, guys. And I myself will benefit immensely from it. So thank you so much, JG. And yes, I will be getting back to you and excited to see what is to come. So wonderful, guys. And thanks so much again, JG, for your super chat. And all the learnings I've got from you, JG. So Dogalova says, it's very easy and good to compliment a woman's appearance because they put a ton of effort into looking good. Feels good to be recognized, works both ways too. We're all human. Yep. Very good. Just don't be creepy. Yep. All right, guys. Are you enjoying the list? Okay. Uh-oh, archetypal moth is stuck in -4. Okay. Wagner says Asperger -4. Okay. Yep. All right, guys, let's keep going here. So was his car clean/nice? Oh, you never think of that one, right? Okay, very good. Was he a good driver? Now, that's something women can find actually very erotic, guys. So that, you know how women always say, oh, you know what's so hot when he like reverses with his hand on the back of the passenger seat or whatever? Yep. And when he's like driving like this with like one hand. Yep. They like driving, guys. Let's see. Where were we? Did he smell nice? Okay, yeah, that's important. Was the place nice? All right, guys, even if it's inexpensive, make it cool, make it like a cool, hip place and try to make it, it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be inexpensive, but girls like it if it's kind of a cool, interesting place. Was the conversation good? All right, that one should go without saying. Was there good banter? Yes, guys, banter. Okay. Banter is known in male gaze land as shit tests. All right. So that's a very horrible attitude when you guys are like, oh no, she challenged me. She pushed back on me. She's shit testing me. No, women see it as banter and they want it. They crave it. They need it. All right. So banter is good. Was he my type? Wow, that's a harsh one. Did I enjoy the conversation during the date? Okay, that one's fair. Do we have common interests or shared hobbies? This is where people with like personality disorders excel because they have no problem lying about common interests or shared hobbies. And I guess it works, guys, but don't be like that. Did we laugh and have a good time together? I guess this is where sense of humor matters, okay? Did I feel comfortable being myself around them? Okay, that's going to take some good social skills. Did we have similar values or beliefs? Okay, that's kind of like evaluating you for long-term relationship potential. Was there good chemistry and mutual attraction? Guys, that's on you. That's your job to create it through sexual escalation, through banter, through trying to go in for the kiss. These are things, it's all on you, 100% on you guys. Did the person show genuine interest in getting to know me? 100%. That's important, guys. Are you, it's both things. It's the sexual part of the date and it's the conversational getting to know you part of the date. See Me Rollin has just super chatted me. Thank you so much. He says, watching from an hour back, regarding alpha, I learned of the sociosexual hierarchy made by Vox Day, and I think it is well applicable to categorize the various behavioral patterns for men. You may find that interesting. Absolutely, see me rolling. Should I? I'll just write this down. The sociosexual hierarchy made by Vox. Oh no, what did I just do? By Vox Day. Where do I find that? See me rolling. That sounds very interesting. I will definitely. I'm trying to copy and paste it right now. I'll pin your comment. Wait, I can't. And I'll look this up. All right, let me write this down. Sociosexual hierarchy by Vox Day. Sociosexual hierarchy. Thank you so much for super chat and for alerting me to this, because I will definitely check that out. So, yeah. All right, guys. Damn it, I lost my place now, but no worries. I'll get it back. Okay. Thank you so much again, See Me Rollin'. I appreciate that. So, guys, do we have a similar sense of humor? Can I envision having an enjoyable future with him? Did he only show green flags? Did I find myself looking forward to a second date? Did I feel a sense of excitement? Did I catch myself admiring him? Can I envision physical attraction developing? Did he walk you to your door/car? Was the kiss good? That was something I used to really think about. Did he send a thank you text? Did he ask for a second date? Would you go on a second date and score? Wild, guys. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts? I am curious. Dog and Love says, isn't the sociosexual hierarchy just alpha, beta, sigma stuff? Lol, that's nothing about actual dating strategy. It's about as useful as horoscopes, just make believe. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe you're right, Dog Lover. I'll look it up. And I'll see for myself. Castle Soul says, I have made significant progress in bettering my relationship with girls. Yay, still a lot to go, but it's nice. Wonderful, Castle Soul. Absolutely wonderful. What helped you? What did you change that made the difference? Let us know. Guys, Jimmy G says this list is a little misleading, though. Why is that, Jimmy G? Because it all comes down to one thing. Looks, or what's your take? Jimmy G says playfulness, flirting, challenging, all that is a good sign. Yes, it is. All right, guys. Well, I really got to go. I've got to go to bed now. But I thank you guys so much for coming to my live, for participating in my quiz, for super chatting me, and for those who did, for participating, for sharing your answers, horrible and wonderful. Some of you guys shocked me to my core. Some of you guys really made me think. All right. So I appreciate you all. Renew the R1 Blue says, thank you, Vic. Your content is helping me more than you can know. All the guys that want to criticize you don't realize how lucky they are to get this info. I wish you were here 20 years ago. Oh, wow. Renew the R1. You got me. Thank you so much. You don't know how much that means to me because I do get a lot of criticism. Oh, when you super chatted me, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Guys, and sometimes I really don't react well to the criticism. Sometimes I just lash out. Well, it's not so much like the criticism because, like, if someone gave me like a legitimate critique, I'd be like, okay, fine. But it's not like criticism. It's more just like blind rage and misogyny is like what really like gets me so much because I'm just like, I'm face palming, reacting so hard right now. I can't take this. But you know what? Through it all, I've learned more about the male gaze. So there is good to it. But thank you so much. Renew the R1 Blue. And everybody, thank you guys so much. IDK says, thanks, Vic. Is there a reason why you don't have a regular schedule for these live streams? The reason is I'm an INFP. Myers-Briggs. The P means you just do what you want when you want and you like spontaneity, right? Allegedly. Anyway, guys. Steve says, good night, Victoria. You're the #1 female gaze YouTuber. Aw, thanks. Cesar says, hi, Victoria. Greetings from Romania. Love your content. Hello, Cesar. I'm actually Romanian, Cesar, in my, well, I don't know if you would consider that, but, you know, way, like, great-grandparent. On one side. Drish says, you have the best explanation of the women's perspective I've ever came across. Oh, my gosh. Tell me more, you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are just showering me with praise now. Help. All right, guys, but I really got to go. But if you guys want to get a one-on-one consultation with me, just look in the description of any of my videos on YouTube, and you can pay with credit card, you can pay with PayPal, $60. I think I must be one of the most inexpensive dating coaches out there because every time I see a dating coach, it's like exorbitant. All right, guys. So it might be more expensive for, you know, people in different regions or whatever, but it's not terrible. Okay. Anyway, guys. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great night.